Welcome back. For the final leg of our journey, we've travelled north to Machynlleth to meet a lady who's really used her imagination to carve her own piece of paradise. Despite battling rheumatoid arthritis and other health problems, Diana Rhodes has spent the last 10 years converting a 9-acre site into a peace garden and sculpture park. How would you label this garden if you had to put a label on it? Would you call it a peace garden? Would you call it a sensory haven? What is it to you?
I think of it as a nature reserve in miniature, because nature is at peace with itself. The whole philosophy, apart from being accessible, is to link cultural and spiritual beliefs. So all the things that we've done, all the sculptures, the things that have been prepared, there's a labyrinth and so on, are there as linkages.
The garden was inspired by a peace gathering held here in the year 2000. At the centre of it stands the Seed of Life symbol. Diana has devoted her life to promoting peace and harmony around the world. She's also created a series of sensory gardens to celebrate humanity. Each plot is designed to stimulate the senses. Some beautiful plants in here.
They're
really lovely.
They're overhanging the path.
Yes.
That's deliberate because virtually everything here smells.
It
has
does.
a perfume,
Yes.
a scent.
Right.
So as you brush past them,
So lots of touch
if you
here,
have a
isn't
sight
there?
impairment,
Yes.
then the smell, the scent is very important to you.
I noticed these boards here. Dan.
If you notice, they all feel, if you run your fingers on them, they all feel different.
Yes.
So say a child with a sight impairment,
Yes.
that sense of touch again is very important.
So this is all about hands-on interaction.
Textures, feelings, smells, scents.
All the smells.
They're lovely, aren't they?
Oh, wonderful. And it just trails through.
Yes.
I think the lovely thing is, Diana, that you get a real sense of it flowing through here.
Oh, good. That's what it's meant to do.
So what is
So
what
now
is the
we've
difference?
entered Garden 2.
Right.
And this is for people who perhaps have a hearing impairment.
Yes.
So we've got shrubs like the smoke
Right.
bush, azaleas in the spring, azaleas, the lavender. So again, and
Hence
so
the
when the
beautiful
sun comes
colour.
through this, it reflects on the path and makes
Right.
a beautiful imprint.
So
And then the
comes on.
sundial, because
Oh, okay.
that's all visual.
Right.
And as I say, the different colours.
Yes.
So everything in here is designed to be colourful.
Okay. And I love the colours on these glass bricks.
Yes.
As you pass
they're lovely.
through. So the Children's Enchanted Garden,
Yes.
which is,
So there's
well, it's
all the
magical, isn't it?
nursery rhymes and stories and
Yes.
encouraging parents, guardians to get down to a child's level and
Yes.
actually talk to them about the old stories and nursery rhymes, which sometimes get neglected nowadays.
Did you enjoy nursery rhymes as a child?
Yes. And then the mirrors.
We have
And
the
again,
three
the stories.
bears.
And Richard's always being asked, where's Dorothy? Usually by a girl.
So where is Dorothy?
You're Dorothy. And what they do is then go and talk to the animals.
And I've just noticed, most importantly, that this is a yellow brick road.
It's a yellow brick road.
Very, very imaginative. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them.
Yes. And Snow White.
So are these favourites of yours? Is this the sort of
Favourites
thing
of
that
the
you...
children.
Through a child's eyes, this must be
Absolutely.
magical.
And the smaller you are, the more surprises there are as you go around the corners.
Diana, I know this was this is the final garden through the journey, but in a sense this was your first garden.
Yes, because the poem came about dreaming the vision of man uniting. And so that was the first idea to do something. So the friends linking around the world, north, south, east, west, and the rainbow of hope
Yes.
depicted what I wanted to depict, that tolerance and understanding can help us.
Diana's own life has been enriched by her four-legged companion, a highly trained assistance dog, and her husband Richard, who's turned her dreams into a reality.
Richard, I get a real sense that Diana perhaps has the ideas and you're the man who makes those ideas happen. Would that be a fair assessment?
You've got it in one, yes. She has all sorts of ideas and, you know, we all sort of almost duck when another one comes out and think, oh no, how are we going to make that work?
Has she come up with anything to date that you've just thought, I can't do it, I don't want to do it?
I can't think of one. Many of them have progressed into something probably quite different to what they originally thought out, but we have to compromise.
Yes.
And she's good at that.
Diana is clearly a very spiritual person. Do you share similar beliefs? Do you understand her ideas?
I understand her ideas, but you've only got to live in a place like this to know that there is something greater than we are.
Obviously, Diana has sort of physical impairments, I suppose you might say, but it doesn't seem to have stopped this vivid imagination.
I think it's worked the opposite way, or is it the opposite? I don't know. But as she becomes less and less physically able, mentally she becomes stronger. The garden feeds her, definitely.
Richard, although this garden has been fed by a vivid imagination, I get a real sense that there's order here and that everything is placed for a reason.
Yes. Like the boardwalk we stood on now is here because at times when the river's been high, you couldn't walk on it. It's muddy, so it's there for a reason, as you say, but it's a reason to improve nature, let people see nature without damaging it to a certain state.
Richard, you've obviously had a fair amount of work to do in this garden, and your work is pretty much dotted around everywhere, isn't it?
It certainly is.
Yeah, this bridge in particular, which you...
This was really the start. I got the idea out of a magazine for ships, and it's a ship's gangplank.
Richard, does the fact that you've rolled your sleeves up, got your hands dirty and done the work yourself increase the sense of, perhaps pride isn't the right word to use because Diana doesn't like that word, but
No.
do you feel better for it?
Yes, I mean, it isn't work. That's the important thing. I love doing it.
Bill, well, of all the plants to have caught your eye in these gardens, I'm surprised it's this one, which possibly doesn't look the most spectacular.
I think the hosta is perfect because it looks almost as though you've taken a plain white leaf and just got the artist's brush and painted the green onto it. People love hostas, but they're reluctant to grow them because once they start to reach maturity, before you know where you are, you've got the slugs and they start to drill holes in them. The holes get more and more till in the end the whole plant is decimated. So it really does look a mess.
Yes.
But there's no need for that. There is a way round it. And if you look down at the bottom of the plant here, you'll see that all the growth is coming from a small area.
Okay.
Go along to the skip,
Yes.
find a little bit of second-hand plumbing pipe, and this piece here, I just pulled it across my knee and made roughly a circle. What I'll do is lay this copper pipe over where the leaves are emerging now.
Right.
When the plant grows next year, it'll grow through this copper circle.
Yes.
And this is a barrier to the slugs.
There's obviously something in it they don't like then.
They just don't like it and won't cross it.
Good gosh.
And the glory of it, it's long term.
Yes.
So no need for slug pellets, no need for any pesticides or whatever.
Yep.
Just leave this on year upon year, beautiful leaves, no slug damage. It's a perfect solution.
It was Diana's granddaughter Kira who came up with the name Grandma's Garden. On a spiritual level or simply through a child's eye, there's something for everyone here.
People tell me how wonderful it is. And I know I can tell the way they talk, I can tell the way they look. But I don't think anybody gets as much pleasure out of it as I do.
we began our search for paradise on our little roof garden, and the idea there, if you like, was to create something out of nothing. And I think what's impressed me most over the last few weeks is that size is no barrier, be it small scale or large scale. The results are equally as outstanding.
Yeah, I think what's come through is the dedication, the determination, often against all odds.
But at no point have any of our gardeners actually termed it as work.
No, well, I think gardening is always work in progress, and you've never really completed it all. In fact, I'll tell you what would be interesting, to come back and look at some of these gardens in, say, a couple of years' time.
It'd be great, wouldn't it? Well, I think we found paradise,
We certainly have.
and we hope you've enjoyed as well. Bye-bye.
For more information about the National Garden Scheme, go to their website at ngs.org.uk.